Hey guys, welcome to our R3 Method workshop where we're going to be talking about exercise. And as we get started, we're just going to jump right in. As we get started, I want you to think about being a gardener for a moment. And if you had a garden, there are certain steps that you would want to take to make sure that you're taking really good care of your garden. So the first thing you want to do is you'll want to prepare your foundation. You want to prepare your soil. And as you prepare your soil, it will be ready to reap the benefits of whatever it is that you're putting it in. Or putting in it. Then you want to make sure you're watering it, and that regular watering is going to be really important for your garden's growth and vitality. Then you want to make sure that you get rid of some of the junk that isn't helping. So weeding and pest control, that's going to be really important. And then pruning. As things are growing and changing, you're going to find pieces that really aren't as helpful for you, and so you want to make sure you prune those off so that so that the garden is stronger. You want to make sure that soil has really good nutrients, and you want to make sure that you are having consistent, daily, regular sunlight. So those are some of the steps that you need to be able to maintain a thriving garden. But what does that have to do with your exercise at all? And the reason why we're talking about this with exercise is because for a healthy body altogether, you can consider some of the components of exercise like some of these components of your garden. And so over the course of this course, we're going to be talking about some of the different areas. Our foundation is going to be strength training. We want to make sure that we're building strength. We want to water our garden, our body, with cardiovascular exercise, making sure that we have good fluid, good blood flow, and making sure that our heart is really strong. We want to make sure that we're doing things to that weeding and pest control. We want to prevent the injuries and the nagging things that keep us from being able to exercise. So flexibility and mobility work. And then pruning, getting rid of some of the things that will negatively impact our recovery over time. And that's going to be with the recovery that we do and ways that we manage stress. Now, let's go ahead and jump right into it, because today we're going to be getting into or talking about strength training. It is a vital key when it comes to improving the benefits that we're going to get from our exercise. So this goes beyond just building muscle mass, building muscles. It is about building and developing our strength. So let's talk about, just real quickly, what are some of the benefits of strength training in general? Number one, you're going to increase your muscle strength and your mass. When you improve muscle strength, it improves functional strength. It's not just muscle strength so you can show how big and strong your muscles are. That doesn't necessarily do a lot for you, but it will improve functional strength for your daily tasks to prevent muscle loss associated with aging. It will boost your metabolism, which will help with weight and reducing risk factors for metabolic syndrome and issues with like type 2 diabetes, dealing with glucose metabolism, weight gain, that sort of thing. It'll improve your bone density. It prevents osteoporosis by stimulating bone growth and increasing your bone density. It will improve your joint health. When you strengthen the muscles around those joints, they will be healthier. You will feel better. If you're in here seeing the chiropractor to get adjusted and improving things that way, your exercise will support those changes that we're trying to make. It even has mental health benefits. We have all the antidepressive, anti-anxiety chemicals right here in our brain, and they're released with exercise. Strength training has been linked to reduce symptoms of anxiety, depression, and improve cognitive function. It also improves our balance and posture. By improving our core strength, we'll have better balance, we'll have better posture. It will lead to reduced risks of falls, especially in older adults. And this is really important. These things will improve our longevity. And when we talk about that, like your lifespan, how long you'll live, there is an association between higher muscle mass and living longer and lower mortality rates. And we may hit on some of that here in just a little bit. Part of why it reduces disease risk. So if we're not going to have as many instances of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, certain cancers because of our exercise, we're going to live longer. Also, it's going to make us more resilient. We will build a physical reserve if we are stronger, if we are healthier. Then when we do get sick, when something does hit us, then what we'll notice over time is that we'll have a decreased overall incidence or not a decreased incidence, but if we're stronger and more resilient, then we also can withstand when we do get sick. If we're exercising, it will improve our functional independence, maintains and improves our ability to perform just regular everyday tasks, carrying groceries, climbing stairs, household chores, promoting independence, especially as we get older. Your energy and stamina will increase for the daily activities that we do. It will reduce fatigue. We'll have more mobility and flexibility because when you're strengthening those muscles, when you're strengthening the muscles that move, let's say your arm in both directions, you will have more mobility in that arm. So now we know strength training is going to do a lot for us as far as helping our body, helping our health. What do we do? Like, how do we get into it? How do we get started? First is you want to start slow. If we're a beginner, just start slow and gradually focus on mastering the form of each exercise you do. Use light weights or your body weight. Remember, having proper technique is going to be really important to prevent injuries and ensure that your exercise is effective. Once you're comfortable with your form, then you can gradually start increasing the intensity, the weight, the duration, the time. And over time, that will make your body stronger. Increasing your intensity, though, is vital over time because eventually your body will stop adapting to the same thing over and over again. So you'll need to increase something or you won't see any change. Now, as far as how often we need to do this, in general, 2 to 3 times a week is really good for strength training. The frequency will allow your body to recover in between, and recovery is incredibly important. Take rest days, especially in between different types, in between the same body part. So if I'm doing strength training and I'm working my upper body or my arms one day, I don't want to do that the next day. Give yourself at least 24 hours. Some people say 48 hours in between. Another thing to think about is the type of exercise that we do. Compound exercises are important to work on. And in some ways, we have to be careful with them because they are more challenging, but they are actually better for you because they're more challenging. So if you do a compound exercise that works multiple groups, like a squat, that works your legs and your core, and it works your entire legs and your core. Or you can do deadlifts, which will work your back, your core, and your hamstrings. Or you can do like a chest press, a shoulder press, something like that. That works the shoulders and the elbows. And so multiple areas you're going to be working on. Let's see. You want to make sure you're doing compound type exercise. It's much better than a simple exercise where maybe you're moving one joint of the body. That does work an area, that does build strength, but you'll have to do a lot more exercise to get the same kinds of benefits. Over time, or as you're planning your day, just make sure you plan your day to do all of your major muscle groups. You don't want to be someone that has a really big upper body and then tiny little legs. Or the opposite, you want to make sure that you're training each area of your body so overall we're strong. Some other things to think about is progressive overload. You want to have gradual increases in the things that you're doing. And I had mentioned that before, but just slowly over time, increase your weight, increase your volume, like your number of sets or reps, increase the intensity of what you do. This progressive overload over time will increase your strength and help you to build muscle. And then tracking your progress. How do you know if you're increasing, if you're not actually paying attention to what you're doing? Keep a workout log, something to help track your process. Also, diversify your routine. Diversify what you're doing. Maybe use a mix of free weights, dumbbells and barbells, machines, body weight exercises, those kinds of things, because each type of equipment is going to offer different kinds of benefits and challenges and different levels of stabilization for your body. So trying different things is going to make a difference in the changes that you see. And then change it up. Just regularly changing your exercise routine over time is going to keep you from having these plateaus. Maybe even consider like having a professional help you. A certified personal trainer can help you, especially if you're new to strength training or new to maybe using certain types of tools, instruments, machines, or to help you get to specific goals or help you with specific health concerns. A personal trainer can give specialized guidance to be able to help you with that. Professional guidance also makes sure that what you're doing is effective and what you're doing is safe. Lastly, listen to your body. Think about how your body responds to exercise. If you have pain beyond normal muscle fatigue, consider adjusting your exercise. Reduce the weight or consult a professional. And I mentioned before, rest and recovery. Don't forget about this. Prioritize rest days and recovery techniques. It will help you to repair and grow and achieve even better benefits. Sometimes if we think of a little bit as good, then more is better, and then maybe no recovery. Why do we need recovery if we're just trying to build? Recovery is key, and we'll get into that a little bit later. So we've talked about a lot of things today. We've talked about the benefits of strength training. We've talked about some of the longevity benefits, the benefits of our activities of daily living. We've talked about having a beginner's approach, starting slow and working our way up. We've talked about ideal frequencies, 2 to 3 times a week for our strength training. We also talked about making sure that we have days of rest in between body parts. We talked about different kinds of exercise, like using compound exercises instead of simple types of exercises. We've talked about making sure we have full body coverage instead of just focusing on one area. We've talked about progressive overload, making sure that we're consistently getting better over time and making sure that our routine is diversified so we consistently get benefits. Put those pieces together, your body will feel the difference. And I'll look forward to talking to you again in the next video. Have a good day.